Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Why is it so hard to keep secrets? Let's imagine that you have just been privy to something that is blockbuster explosive. I mean, this isn't like, oh my gosh, so and so got in trouble at work for taking home office supplies like the stapler and the pens. No, I mean something to where people would be aghast if they found out. And you are the confidant that has just been told by the offending party. They had to share with someone what they've done, and they've told you. Why do you feel like you want to run and tell everybody else? It's not for the attention. It is not because there's a part of you that thinks the world needs to know. It's because you have just been put under pressure to perform. Yep. Integrity. Can you be trusted? And this is the reason why it is so easy to self-sabotage. It doesn't matter if it's something with your health or to where you said, yes, I'm going to exercise and I'm going to eat clean today, or with a relationship where you're like, I'm not going to lose my temper, or with your career, I'm going to give it my all, even though they don't necessarily should be getting the best from me. My employer hasn't necessarily earned that right. It is so easy to self-sabotage because it relieves the pressure that is asked from you for your next quality of life upgrade. That's right. You need to be in harmony with that next level up. But you will self-sabotage to get relief. Just like you want to go tell that secret, it's because you want the relief. You don't want to be inconvenienced by having to keep this and be trustworthy. And so many people have confused relief with freedom because freedom takes work. Here's something else to think about. For over 80% of people, the 6 weeks before they take vacation are actually happier than the vacation itself. Say what? Yep. Because vacations take work. You're out of your everyday routine. So maybe you're kicking back, chillaxing, but you still got to figure out where you're going to eat and what activities you might have to engage in, not just for yourself, but for anybody else that is there with you to keep everybody involved in what's going on. It takes more work than your average routine. So you'll be happier just fantasizing about it, because then that relieves the pressure to perform. We're getting ready to go into August, and August is what's known as a threshold month because it's the end of summer, but it's also the getting ready for the beginning of fall. I don't know about where you live, but here in the Midwest of the U.S., we're getting ready to send our kids back to school part of the way through August. So it's, yeah, still summer, but it's not. We've got to get ready for the next stage. And the subconscious sees that as a threshold month. If you're standing in a doorway, you're not in the hall, but you're not in the room either. And the subconscious is going, which direction do you want to go? Now, if you leave it up to your subconscious, it will sabotage you by putting you back out into the hall, because you know that way where you just kind of wander around and peek into rooms, but you actually never step into them and do what that room requires of you. Whether it's your relationship room, whether it's your health room, it is all these different rooms in your life. It's what's known as your castle. And so you peek in, but you never actually engage, because as soon as you step into that room, now you're required to perform. Now you're going to ask of yourself to keep your focus, to optimize those emotions, and to take actions that will create impact. And it's so much easier just to stay where you are. So much easier just to listen to another podcast episode, or read another book, or watch another video, instead of actually doing the work. There's three parts of you. There's fantasy, amnesia, and progress. So fantasy is what it takes to set the goal. Amnesia is what it takes to let go of the pain and the fear that would keep you stuck and struggling. And then you got to implement that progress aspect. You've got to follow through. But little tweaks equal big peaks. You don't do it all at once. You take steps on it. So that's what we're going to focus on this month together. Your threshold of transformation. I want you to step into that room of transformation as quick as possible. And I'm going to do everything I can during the month of August for that to happen. So, what does that mean for you? Well, your gift this month is the free hypnosis audio transformation. And you can go claim that at drewdawnferguson.com. You choose that you want to work with me this month. So you can go from the self-sabotage that brings you relief to the implementation for impact that actually has you experiencing freedom, because it's your life on your terms. You decide to do that, I am going to add in the bonus of an advanced workshop with me that is only for my previous clients. That'll be coming up in September. And there's a Friday evening for those of you who are across the pond, the really big ponds. Okay. Because I know whenever it's Friday night, my time, hey, it's Saturday morning over where you're at. So there'll be an option for people that are closer to my time zone. And there'll also be an option for those of you who are not. And the only way you can get access to this class in September is the fact that we have already worked together. So 636-699-7791, 1-636-699-7791. Reach out to me by text and let me know that you want a consult for August. But then there's one other option that I'm going to give you. Some of you have been following me for a while. You want to do what I do as far as helping others stop the self-sabotage, break through the bad beliefs that are holding them back, and then design a plan of action where it is going to create the biggest impact in someone's life. Well, then you know I'm a certified instructor. I teach others to do this. I have a class coming up in September. I also have a class coming up in November. But I've got one special opening where you can train with me privately, and I am waiving the $1,000 surcharge I typically add on to train with me privately. I only take one person at a time on this. You can take up to 4 months to train with me privately. We make a schedule that fits you. So this way, for those of you across the really big ponds, we can find a way to work together. I am willing to get up and be on the line with you at 5 o'clock my time, which is going to be sometime late afternoon or the evening your time. I'm willing to do that if you're willing to invest and being a good steward of your talents. Because if you're drawn to this profession, then you have a calling for helping others at a very deep level. But you've got to be a steward over that talent. You can no longer hide it. And for some of you, you've been thinking about it, and I'm telling you, you've got to step into that room. Quit hanging out on the threshold going, well, should I do it or should I wait? Because as soon as you ask yourself that question, well, your subconscious says, oh, it'll come around again. And you have just self sabotaged because you have relieved the pressure to perform. And then your subconscious learns to keep you stuck and struggling at that level because you'll come up with all the reasons and excuses of why not to move forward. You think that they're reality. Well, it's the reality that's been picked for the level that you're at, not the one that matches where you're supposed to be going. Okay. So go to isch4u.com. You'll see what all's offered in the classes. But if you want to train with me privately, then hit on the bar that shows up at the bottom of that page that says, am I the instructor for you? Set a time to talk with me. There's even times for you if you're across the pond. And it is going to be at the same investment it would be at for if you were enrolled in one of the group programs, but I only have one opening. That's it. All right. So time to put yourself under pressure on purpose for progress, because that's what leads to freedom. That is what leads to you designing your life on your terms. You go from goal setting to actually goal getting. And then you're like, okay, what's next? What's next? Not as far as achievement in life, but in who you can become based on who you really are. So until we get together again, blessing on your brilliance. The world needs more of you and your talents.